Hello everyone, it is Erin Floto here, and I am here with another 10 types video. And today I am doing 10 types of reading journal spreads. I do have a 10 types of reading trackers video from back in like 2019. So I will go ahead and leave that in the description down below if you want some more inspiration. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the first spread I have is a to be read list, or a TBR list. So these are things that you have in your possession, or that maybe a family member has in their possession, but you want to read it at some point in the year. So I have a title here for ones that are specifically on my bookshelf, where I can put the title and then the date that I finally read that book. And I've split it up into two sections. Hopefully you don't have that many books that you have spent money on and have not read. That is why I started a reading journal, is because I kept buying books and not reading them. So a to be read list is one of a really good amount of spreads that can help you in your reading journal, or get to reading books that you have purchased. The second is a ratings and review spread. So this is specific to one book. So I would have the book information, the rating. So I have these little 5-star stickers. So I've included a rating for the book, the actual book, a place to put book information and dates read. I could also do some little blurbs down here for specific statistics that I'm tracking, like how many pages there are and things to that nature. And then the review section of the book. You could also do this with a lot of doodling, specific to the book characters or the motifs in the book or something to that effect. Obviously for Red Queen, you might have a lot of silver and red blood, for example, but I've just included a basic section for a review. Number 3 is a quote page. So this is for, the entire calendar year, or if you do read a lot, maybe a month, where you can put in quotes related to the books that you have read. So I just put a few quotes around here. And what I personally would do is my favorite quote per book. So that way I just have one section, or one quote per book. And I can see how many books that I read in that month or in that year. But I can understand if there's a lot of really good quotes that you would want to include multiple as well. The next one is a time tracker, just to see how much time you are spending reading. So I've set this up kind of like a sleep tracker, where I have 12 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then I decided to put dots in the middle just because I wanted to change things up. But then marking off little bits of time where you are reading. That way you can see what area of the day is maybe most productive for you to read, or how much time in general you are reading over the course of the month. And I have the days of the week along the side, and then the times of the day along the top. So it's just a basic grid. The next one is a monthly statistics. So this is where you can put in things related to the number of books you've read, how you've read them, the number of authors you've read, if they are male or female, or identify as a different gender, how many books you read and what those books were, how many pages you read in those books, what kind of genres they were, if it's a fiction versus nonfiction. Did you read the book in print on Kindle, or did you listen to it via an audiobook? And what was the average star rating of the books that you read? And then I also included a section for my thoughts, but you can obviously dive into some more statistics if you'd like as well. It's like the race of the author, or where the author is from, for example. The next one I have is a book bingo. So you could do this a couple different ways. The way that I decided to do it is to list out all of the books. You could also do this as like a to be read list, or a TBR list, where you have all the books that are on your bookshelf. And I included the star rating for this particular bingo. So I've included the books and the star ratings. But you could also do this based on, you know, a male protagonist or a female protagonist. And you can like put genres, like I'll read a romance book. So you can do this book bingo quite a few different ways with the actual book, or you could do it based on different types of things that you want to read over the course of the year. Moving on, we have a monthly trackers section. So I have the pages read in a month, and then I have a legend over here where it says the red is for book number 1, the gray is for book number 2. Of course, if I kept going, I would use different colors. What my goals were for the month, and then how many hours that I read, and what was the type of book for that particular book. So then I have the days of the week, 1 through 31, days of the week, the days of the month, 1 through 31, and then you can mark in how many pages you read, hours, and the type of book it was, and then you can track all however many amount of books that you have read during that month. Moving on, we have a section for new releases. So I did this similar to the quotes page just because I particularly love those pages, but you could also do this as a basic list on what the book title is, who the author is, and where/when it is being released. If it's available on audiobook, if it is Kindle releases, things to that effect. So I've done this as a lettering style, but of course you can do it any other way. Number 9, I have a genre tracker. So this is the different types of genres, would be the different Tetris pieces. Of course, I could also do like the flip side of this, for example. So it's the same piece, but flipped around in case I need more genres. You could do the same thing with the 4 across, and instead of doing 4 across, it could be 4 up and down, and that would signify a different genre. And then you just build up your Tetris from there. And then the last one I have is a book club. This is from Joshi Curran's book club. I went on her Discord and looked at which books that they've been reading this year. And I just have a basic where I have the month and I have the lettering style for the book that they are reading that month. So you could do, of course, a bunch of different ways, but I just wanted to introduce you to some types of spreads that you could do and give you an example of one of those types. So you could obviously set this book club up a lot differently, especially if you're a part of many different book clubs. You could have the month, the book that you're reading, and what book club it is a part of. You could also add your star rating and things like that as well. So those are all 10 types of reading journal spreads that you might be interested in. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have some more suggestions for some more 10 types videos, definitely leave them in the description down below. And if you've made it to the end of this video, I would love if you could put a book in the comments because that really helps with the YouTube algorithm. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.